This is a big box.
Yeah, I've been wanting this box forever.
You've been wanting the box forever?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been taking up a lot of space in the garage. We're going to show you what's inside here, and then we're going to install it on his Jeep Wrangler TJ. Stay tuned. Welcome to Trail Recon. I'm Brad, and this is my son Jordan, and this is a massive box that's got something very cool inside it that we're going to be installing on his 2006 Jeep Wrangler TJ. I know you're pretty excited about this.
Super excited about it.
What's in the box?
It's a Gobi roof rack.
A Gobi roof rack. This is going to be a fun install, and it's going to allow you to mount a rooftop tent up there. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool about that, right? You do some camping, a little overlanding.
Yep.
Why did you choose the Gobi roof rack?
So there wasn't a whole lot of options for the TJs,
right?
Especially for the soft top.
Yep.
So it really had to be like an exoskeleton, and the other ones I didn't really like the way they looked, and they didn't have like all the different mounting accessories and room for a light bar.
Okay.
So, and then after seeing Marco's Jeep, I just
Marco's Jeep was the seller, I think.
Yep.
Well, Gobi's good quality stuff, so I think you picked right here. Now, let's talk about weight capacity because it's very important. So, what is the dynamic weight? So when the vehicle is in motion, what's the maximum weight it can handle?
300 pounds.
300 pounds. So that's going to be more than enough for a rooftop tent, any accessories you put up there. Now, what about the static weight? So when you're parked, you're setting everything up, you're up in there. How much weight can this handle?
It's going to be able to hold 800 pounds.
800 pounds. So that's more than enough for you and, you know, maybe a girlfriend or a buddy or whatever, and your rooftop tent, whatever, right? You got plenty of weight capacity, so that's going to be good. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. I'm excited to see all the parts.
Yeah, so am I. There should be a backpack in there too.
Ooh, a backpack.
Yeah.
Now, I was pretty excited to check out all the components of this rack, but Jordan, for whatever reason, was laser focused on the backpack gift they included in the package. It was pretty nice, but come on, help me out here. Let's get this thing unpacked. All right, I'm thinking that unboxing this thing was probably half the work.
Oh yeah, it's really well packed.
It's very well packed, but they did a great job because everything looks super nice, very clean. I gotta say, this is good quality stuff. Okay, so we've got, looks like a front and a rear bar. We've got some mounting brackets from the rear underneath the bumper where things are gonna attach. We've got the roof rack, which is actually pretty heavy, but it's pretty stout. You were standing on it a minute ago. Got a couple little ladders for the back and then a wind deflector. So a lot of good hardware here. I think this should be, I dare not say it, huh? It'll be an easy install. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Jordan started by removing the rear bumper plastic end caps. There are just a couple torque screws holding them into place, and this will allow us to have easy access to the rear frame where the mounting hardware is attached. Next, this lower rear bumper nut needs to be removed, as this will be a mounting point for the first of 3 brackets that we'll be installing back here.
Oh, that's not so bad.
My PV blasted it. The first bracket comes with 2 long bolts and a small backing plate that will be installed behind the frame rail. It's a bit of a tight fit back here, and so we did quite a bit of finagling and moving around just to get everything lined up. It's tough to get your hands back there, and so it took us a little bit to get it done, but eventually this is what this first bracket, when it's mounted, should look like. Then Jordan repeated the same process and mounted the bracket on the passenger side. Next, he peeled back the rear inner fender liner. There's just a single clip holding that into place, and this is going to give us access to install the next bracket. This second bracket has a thick block that is placed behind the fender, and then the bracket is installed around that block, and then there are 2 bolts that clamp everything into place. With the second bracket now mounted up, the final bracket can be installed between the 2 using the supplied hardware. This is really an interesting design that obviously a lot of thought went into. I think this will be more than strong enough to handle the weight and the stress that this will be under. Now I want to point out one thing, that there should be 4 bolts holding this third bracket into place, but as I'm sitting here editing this, I realized I didn't have a final shot of all the bolts in there, so just know that. Sorry about that, guys. Now came the part that Jordan and I were probably the most nervous about, and that is removing the A-pillar bolts. We have heard many stories of people breaking these and having to drill them out and then retapping the holes. Fingers crossed this doesn't happen. Each bolt is painted on, so you really have to apply a significant amount of force to break them loose. But thankfully, each of the bolts came out with no challenges. We were very thankful for that. All the new hardware is stainless steel, so it's important to ensure you add anti-seize to each one. Over time, stainless steel may seize up against other metals and make it challenging if it ever needs to be removed. Just be prepared to get this stuff all over everything. Gloves are your friend here. With all the A-pillar bolts removed, the new hardware gooped up with some anti-seize, it was time to install the front bar. Now, this did not line up right away perfectly. We had to do some tugging and some pulling and some pushing just to get everything lined up. The last thing you want to do here is force a bolt and then have it misthread and strip out on you. It took us a few minutes to get this bolted up, but eventually we got all the bolts inserted and it was good to go. Next, it was time to install the rear bar using the supplied bushings and hardware to the mount that we had previously bolted up. After getting the bar mounted, there is a triangular wear plate that is attached using some adhesive. And after we were finished with the entire install, we realized that we didn't install the other wear plate. Let me show you that clip now. So as we were cleaning up, we realized that we didn't install these little plastic tabs that are supposed to go behind this little bar right here. There's some adhesive on here that allows it to stick to the body of the Jeep and then it presses up against there. So just to let you know, we forgot to do that. We're going to loosen the bar up and then install these here shortly. But if this is something you're working on, don't forget to do that. Now things are really starting to come together. The directions recommended lowering the rear bar and installing the roof rack in a vertical position and then rotate everything into place and secure the front section. But look, we're two tall guys and we found it easy enough to just go ahead and slide the rack over the top and begin bolting it up. There are a couple bolts on the front on either side, and then there's a total of 8 bolts in the rear to secure everything. And yes, thankfully, everything lined up, no problems. Next, Jordan began assembling the wind deflector, but he may have forgotten to take a close look at the directions. I'm pretty sure I told him to make sure you look at those really close. I'm pretty sure. All right, Jordan, what are you doing, buddy?
So you told me to put these brackets on backwards.
Wait a minute.
So now I'm just flipping them around.
I don't remember telling you to do that. So yeah, that's it, guys. So these L brackets, we had them facing like this. They need to be facing out like that. So we just got to flip them around. All right, what'd you think about the install?
It's pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, not too bad. And it looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Quality's good. And look at this, man. You can rock the entire Jeep with this thing.
Super sturdy.
Okay, so we're going to do a couple other things. We're going to put the ladders on, put the rooftop tent on, and then maybe something on the front. We'll see if we can get that done. But first, what I want you to do is I want you to take it for a drive because I want to know if it makes it louder or quieter, because I know one of your complaints is how noisy this soft top is. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious with that wind deflector if it gets quieter. So take it for a spin, come back and let us know, and then we'll get back to installing the rest of the stuff.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so you took it for a drive around the neighborhood. What's the verdict?
It's not any louder, not any quieter, about the same.
It's about the same. Okay, well that's good news. At least it's not louder.
Yeah.
Right. Now we'll see what happens when we put the tent on there. But first, we're gonna install a couple of these guys. So
yeah,
ready to do that?
Yep.
Get to work, buddy.
Let's do it.
Now the ladders are add-on accessories that will make climbing up to do things like securing the rooftop tent ladder or putting the cover on much easier. Plus it adds a few extra external mounting options which may come in handy later on. There is a mounting plate that gets bolted to the top of the roof rack and then the ladder just bolts right up. Nice design. Next, we removed the 2 crossbars that were attached to the roof rack and secured them directly to the rails on the rooftop tent. This makes it much easier to secure the tent to the roof rack so you're not trying to squeeze your arms in between the rooftop tent and the rack to get access to the hardware. This is a really nice design. I'm actually a little jealous of how simple it was to mount this all up. There we go. You're overland official now.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a big brick up there though.
It's a brick on top of a brick.
It's probably going to kill your gas mileage. But this isn't permanent. We're not going to leave it up there full time.
No.
Only when you're on trips. But you want to leave it up there now. Just check it out, see how it is.
Get used to it.
Yeah, get used to it. Maybe do some camping if you get locked down on base.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right, well, it was fun. My hands are dirty. It was a fun little project though, and I think it looks great. I think it's a great roof rack. Definitely one to consider, guys. I hope you have enjoyed checking out this video. We had a lot of fun in the garage today. Hopefully that came across in camera because we were razzing each other all day long. But look, a lot more projects to come. I know we were talking about, we didn't even talk about that. We were going to do something else today, but we decided we're going to do that another day. There'll be a light bar going on here. We'll just give it away, right? Yeah. There's a light bar that's going on, but we're not going to install it today because we're just out of daylight and it's going to take us a few hours to do that. So that will be coming soon. Plus, lift kit, tires, all kinds of cool stuff, right?
Yeah, it's all waiting in the garage.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.